A very high number of kids and people who just like video games use their phones to access Roblox and play their favorite game. It's an incredible little company that has grown to be a significant player in the gaming industry, and they do things a little different. My name is Victor. I have an MBA, lots of business experience, and I do analysis on companies that I look to invest in and to see if I want to buy, hold, or sell shares in a particular company. Let me tell you more about Roblox. I scorecard all the companies that I look to buy shares in and put them through 4 questions that lead me to a decision whether I want to hold, sell my shares, or buy additional shares in the particular company. The first question, do I want to be a part owner in this company? Do I understand the company? Could I make a good decision about the company? Do I want to be part of the industry? Is it an attractive industry? Is the management team operating the company and performing well? Is debt under control? I want a discount on the stock. At the end of the day, I aim to make money off my investment, in this case in Roblox, and I want a discount on that investment so I can see my investment go up in value over time. Based on the answers to those questions, I decide whether I should buy, hold, or sell my shares. Roblox is a gaming company that's done things a little different and very similar to the way YouTube it functions. As you know, YouTube is owned by Alphabet, and YouTube doesn't necessarily create content. They don't create videos. People like myself and many others create content, and then people come on YouTube and they view that content. YouTube makes money by all the people coming to the site. They advertise, they even sell a subscription, which is what I do. I pay for the subscription so I don't have to see ads. And Roblox does things similar to that. They have a platform that they offer up to developers. These developers develop these incredible games. Now, the users, the customers, they come to Roblox and they use that game. And they have to buy Robux. And those bucks are spent on playing those games in however format or method that they spend those dollars in. And everybody wins. The customer loves the games and they get a lot of enjoyment. Along the way, they pay for these dollars that they spend. The developer wins because they don't have to buy all this expensive infrastructure or lease it out from one of the big public clouds. They could just partner with Roblox and develop this game they think is going to be incredible. And Roblox wins because they don't have to invest their capital and put their capital at risk to develop games that maybe won't work. And they co-share in those revenues and profits with the developers that come on their platform and develop these incredible games. So I really like that format because we get great results, great games. Roblox has great diversification, and they really get games across the board from different developers with different ideas. They don't have to pay those developer salaries. Those developers are entrepreneurs that create games on Roblox. So I really like that type of approach. It resembles what YouTube is doing. So that's what I find really interesting. And I think that Roblox is going to be valuable in the future because they have this particular model. Roblox has been growing very fast. If you look at their last 4 years, they went from 500 million approximately to $2.2 billion. That's 130% overall growth over 4 years. Great job. If you look at their most current closed quarter, it grew quite well, 22%. If you look at the first quarter of 2023 compared to the first quarter of 2022. Now, they were not profitable, and there's a reason for it. They're investing a lot of research and development to make their platform better and better. And that was a pretty significant charge, $275 million. So if you look at their line where it shows that they were unprofitable by $289 million, it is good that the company is spending so much money to make the company better. Their balance sheet's in really good shape. They have a high amount of cash and short-term investments. And compared to debt, they have more cash than they do debt. So really net debt is less than zero. So really strong balance sheet. Let's take a look at the cash flows. So the cash flows are really good for a young company like this. To be producing free cash flows is very good. They had $173.7 million of cash flows from operations. They put money back into the business in the form of property and equipment. It did decrease from last year where they had, in the first quarter of 2022, they had 104 million and it dropped down to 82 million. Again, it's very positive that a young company like this produces free cash flow and is really growing. I'm going to value Roblox using the free cash flow method, which basically says, hey, I'm going to discount all the free cash flows I expect in the future from this company and establish a valuation of that company based on its cash flows. So I'm going to use 2021 numbers, and I'm using that on purpose because I believe 2022 is not a good year to compare to. And I'm only going to take 60% of that number to be conservative. I think this year is going to resemble 2021, but not quite as favorable because we were coming out of COVID then, and a lot of kids were just stuck on their phones. So that gives us a good starting point of $340 million of free cash flow that I expect in this full year, 2023. I'm going to grow those free cash flows by 25%, which aligns with their growth rate on their revenue. And those cash flows will grow over time. Once we get to year 5, it's only going to grow at 6%. And that'll tell us what the terminal value, meaning all the free cash flows into the future, are expected to be around $35 billion. We discount all those free cash flows by 8%, which is my discount rate, or weighted average cost of capital, as some people would call it. And it establishes that those free cash flows are worth $25.5 billion today. I'm going to add the cash that's on the balance sheet and take away the debt that's on the balance sheet to get to an equity value of $26.7 billion. The market cap on Roblox is $25 billion. So this company is fairly priced. It has a tiny discount of 2% currently. Roblox is having a good year. Year to date, it's up 46%, and it's very volatile. You can see how it's gone up and down, up and down. I like that because it gives me good entry points. If it comes down significantly, I buy shares because I believe in the company. So let me take Roblox through the scorecard and see if I want to hold, buy, or sell my shares. So first, I just love the company and I think the industry is great. So big check mark there. Their team is excellent, operating the company very well. They have zero debt, really negative debt. So very well, balance sheet's in very good shape. They have very tiny discounts. So I put a tiny little check mark there. I'm going to hold my shares of Roblox, and unless the price really drops, or I'm going to wait for the next quarter earnings to give me more data, I may change the valuation. The value may go up or down. And then I'll make a decision whether I want to buy more shares or sell my shares. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it interesting to learn a little bit about Roblox. Keep in mind, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm an investor in Roblox. I like to share my experience as an investor in Roblox, but I am not making any recommendations to buy Roblox or sell Roblox. This is not financial advice. Good luck investing in 2023.